Meg.
Aiden.
We're on the podcast here, episode 9, with a brand new, beautiful podcasting table that you made for me, and it is sick.
It's cool to see it all in the space,
right?
Doing its thing.
It is. Once I got it like fully set up and I got the stands on and everything and ran the cables, I was like, this is pretty rad.
Yeah.
It makes it so much cooler, and to have like a place to rest my arms is nice.
Yeah. It's cool.
Right. So how's it going, man?
It's going. Definitely busy with all kinds of projects.
Yeah. Yeah, you seem. I know. It's been crazy.
Yeah, but it's fun. I think I would go crazy if I didn't have anything to do.
Yeah, totally. Right.
Like,
that's what. So I mean, I built that desk. Right. That was my quarantine project.
Oh,
I did one thing.
There it is.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But yes, but that was the same thing, right? I was just like losing my mind, and I wanted to be creative, and I didn't have like a space to be creative. So I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna make myself like a little studio desk that fits to exactly how I need it, because I can't find one that I need to fit my space. And I've never really worked with I was terrible in wood shop, like in middle school, like absolutely terrible. Everything I made was awful.
I'm sure you were great.
I appreciate you saying that.
Wood shop is intimidating though. Like
it is.
Class,
yeah.
The teacher's just like, boom, boom, boom. Okay.
Right. Yeah, and you're using heavy duty ass machines. You know what I mean? Like this, I didn't use. I just used a few saws and called it a day. But
it
was
great.
really fun. Thank you.
Does the job. Didn't you say something with the legs or you got?
So the original legs I got were fucked up.
Okay.
Well, I wanted to do the lead pipe. You know what I mean? Like the rustic, but they were so thin, and I couldn't find anything bigger. And I'm like, this is a big heavy desk. I need something more that holds it better. So that's what I got. I ended up getting those on Amazon, but
they look good.
Yeah, it works. It works. I'm fine with it. It's got its imperfections, but it's mine. So.
Yeah, they're your imperfections.
Yeah, exactly. There was when I first built it, once it was done, all I could stare at were the imperfections, and I'm like, I hate it. And then when I started using it and stuff, I'm like, all right, it's cool.
Yeah, you forget about the imperfections years later. I made Becca's desk that she's using right now while she works from home, and I noticed all those imperfections when I first made it. And now, looking back at it after so many years of not seeing it, then I was like, oh, this is pretty great. I don't even know where were those problems that I got?
Yeah, you get over it pretty quick. And it's nice. Thank God. You know what I mean? Yeah. It probably relates to even your own insecurities. You know what I mean? It's a good metaphor for it. It's like, you know what?
Gosh, I didn't even think about that.
That's what we do here on this podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Full circle.
Yeah.
Bring it back.
100%. So, when did you start doing this?
Honestly, it kind of was growing up. My grandpa was into he's always been into building things. He built our summer cottage, and then my dad and him would work on projects together. So when they were building our new house, or the house that pretty much grew up in, I got to kind of watch them do a lot of the building, electrical work, things like that. And I was little, and they kind of just had me, but they just had me kind of sitting, you want to here's a hole, I guess you can drill it, but we have to watch it with this power tool, that's cool. I don't know. Yeah, but they kind of got me into it, and then just watching them work on projects, I was intrigued.
I think it's awesome. And now obviously I knew you from Fredonia. We were in the radio station together. You were the chief engineer, so you were good with your hands. That's if you're the chief engineer of the radio station, and you could do stuff with your hands. You could put some wires together. You know what's going on.
Fix things. I liked the tinkering with the engineer. With the other positions, it wasn't as here's all this equipment and things, and you can kind of play with whatever you want. It's that. I liked that.
Totally. I agree. I always,
connecting it to then just what I like to do.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. I love it. I'm all about it. And after college and everything, you lived down in Florida for a little bit, right?
I did. Yeah. So right after graduating from Fredonia, I got into that Disney college program.
Okay, and you just stayed down there.
That was fun. Good time. But yeah, I ended up finding a job outside of Disney, but still making things for Disney.
Yeah.
Just 'cause the company was,
probably pretty toxic.
The mouse.
I assume. Yeah.
He's kind of
a dick.
Yeah. you know.
Yeah. Are you so you're not a Disney adult then?
No.
Yeah.
It's funny. I saw that there's a TikTok that was like,
I know you love TikTok too, and I also love
yes.
TikTok.
Oh,
Becca and I talked about this recently. I didn't
yeah,
mean to cut you off.
right.
Go ahead.
But there was a TikTok that was like at the end, they were kind of saying millennials have eczema, or I was like describing millennials or something and using a new word that Gen Z calls us or something.
Chuggy?
Chuggy,
Yeah.
and saying different things are chuggy.
Yeah.
So, and at the end it was Disney adults, and I was like, well, you know, and then you've got the other side of it that's like, well, people use that as their escape.
Sure,
they didn't have a
absolutely.
childhood that was, you know, so I get both sides, but yeah. I wouldn't be, I'm not a Disney adult.
It's
I
from
guess.
an outsider. So I've never been to Disney World. I've never
Really?
gone. Yeah, we were. You know, I've talked about this on the pod before.
I'm just shocked because
I know.
I was down there.
Yeah. So yeah, it is crazy. I've literally never been there. I didn't really leave like the greater Buffalo area for like most of my childhood.
Gotcha.
But I mean, there was 5 of us, you know, and my parents were both young and like in school and working, so we were a big, you know, Fantasy Island family.
Oh yeah.
You
hey,
know,
I love Fantasy Island.
that was our
I mean,
vacation.
I loved. Honestly, I heard like rumors that somebody was gonna bring that back.
Yo, that would be sick. I'd be
Right.
all about it. If they could like actually like go in and like revamp it, because it's a great area, you know, or it's just a great like location. Everything's already there. Just like, you know,
Just needs
put in some elbow work, some TLC.
Yeah,
Flip
flipping
the amusement
Yeah,
park. Yo,
that's
our TLC show.
Yeah, I mean, you see the house shows. You see the
flipping amusement parks. Go to abandoned amusement parks and flip them.
And I actually, Fantasy Island's not like the only one. There's like a
Yeah.
bunch.
Yeah, I think there's another one in Western New York. That's like an abandoned
Probably.
one somewhere. I don't know. Some I don't remember who it was, but some rapper filmed a music video at Fantasy Island. Like,
Really?
yeah, some like well-known rapper. Somebody's gonna have to hit me up
Interesting.
about this. But like a very like notable, like J. Cole maybe, or like ASAP Rocky, or like somebody of that caliber, like at Fantasy Island, like as it was like abandoned and stuff. It was pretty interesting.
I mean, you hear about people going to Darien Lake, you know, because like obviously the venue and stuff is right there. So, but Fantasy Island, I didn't think anybody, you know, major.
Yeah, weird. Yeah. That was, I remember seeing that and just being like, why? Like, I have so many, how did they know? You know, just like so many questions. Yeah, Chuggy.
Chuggy. But you've never been to Disney World.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I've never been to Disney World, and thank you for keeping me on track.
No. I was just like, still shocked.
Yeah. So we went to Hershey Park.
Okay.
That was like the first step into something like that.
Yeah, I've never been to Hershey Park. So.
Hershey Park, probably not as good as Disney World, I'm going to say. You know,
What?
Disney has all the movies and that kind of stuff, and Hershey Park has chocolate, and that's like it.
They have chocolate. They have their.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. I was like 8, I think, when we went there, and the only thing I remember was like how they do the height thing for the rides. So like when you first get there, they like determine it, and it's like so like you go and stand up and they measure your height, and whatever height you're at, like whatever tier you're in, is a specific candy bar. So it's like, okay, so you can ride all of like the Reese's rides because you're that tall, you know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, it was an interesting way of doing it, and that's really all I remember. And then obviously there's like tons of like the souvenir shop is just a giant like Willy Wonka chocolate factory kind of thing. You
That's
know what I mean?
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we went to Cedar Point, but I wasn't like
That
a
one's
roller coaster
cool.
guy at all, so I just kind of hung out.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not a big amusement park guy, but my
Yeah.
family loved it. That was our
Honestly,
thing.
yeah, Cedar Point's pretty much just a roller coaster.
Yeah,
park,
that's all there is to do there. So I didn't have a great time there, but you
I'm
know,
so sorry.
it was nice to get away for a little
Yeah.
bit, you know, as a 10-year-old or
Yeah.
however old I was. Yeah, so still never been to Disney World. Not opposed. I probably still would go. I think it was just eventually it got to a point where it was just like, you know, we wanted to go as kids, and it was always like, you know, we brought it up to our parents all the time of just like, you know, we want to go to Disney World, whatever. Couldn't afford it, and then by the time like my parents could afford it, it was like, well, you know, you guys are all adults now, so
a Disney adult.
yeah, right, exactly. So but no, the whole Disney adult thing, like it's an easy target to rip on people, but at the same time I was like, you're not fucking hurting anybody. If that's what you're into, it's what you're into. I think it's kind of weird, but like, do your thing, you know what I mean?
it's the people that are super obsessed that I'm like,
Yeah.
still do your thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you love, but yeah, I'm just sometimes, you know, like
Yeah, I'm sure.
I worked
there,
in I worked in the costuming department.
Okay.
So some
what was
of
that
the
like?
yeah, some of the luster of like the characters kind of just, at least for me, it kind of
Ruined it a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little
like,
tainted.
Tainted.
Good word.
You know,
yeah.
like I would still go and take a picture with a character, but
yeah.
yeah.
So, were you like involved in like making the costumes at all, or?
Unfortunately, no. Yeah, sometimes depending on the repair, I could. But it was more just like helping performers get ready. And I would draw during. My favorite was working shows, especially the Star Wars one, because I could help the characters, you know, whatever, send them on their way. And then I would sit down and I would draw. So I got to like do like some art while working, which was really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I mean, that's like
shout out to Disney. Thank you for letting me do.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me draw on the clock.
Yeah, huge. That's like, I mean, when the pandemic hit and I started working from home, you know, it was like, all right, well, I get to work, but like all my stuff's here, so I could still be creative. I literally just the other day, like in between meetings of a day, I wrote a full song. Like I just had my guitar next to me and like, you know, picked it up, and just in between like shit I had to do at work, I was
like,
just
how are we gonna go back to like?
That's what I'm saying. I found such a nice balance now of just like a work life where it's like, okay, I don't, you know, yes, I'm clocked in from 8:30 to 5:30, but like I have a break here where all my stuff is here, like even like on a lunch break, right? And it's like, okay, and I can get a bunch of other shit done for like my creative work that I want to do, you know? And that's such a nice balance to have.
Yeah, honestly, I found that while I was working at then the scene shop after Disney, and even my job now, even though I go to the shop to work, even like during lunch break, there's all the tools and stuff there that I can,
so you could still just
take
around.
A break, do my thing, make my projects, work on my projects, and then get back to work.
That's awesome.
So like it's similar to this, you know, where I mean, I work with power tools and stuff like that, so it's kind of just like
shout out power tools,
DeWalt.
Yeah.
Actually, there was another
shout out DeWalt specifically.
Yeah. Although they were I'm in that also part of TikTok where it's power tools and stuff.
Oh,
so,
that's super funny.
So like different brands are racing each other, drilling like screws.
Wow.
And, yeah, I'm like, oh, interesting. Milwaukee catching up.
This is, and I talked about this with my friend Carmen who was on, but it is the best time in history to be a nerd about anything.
Yeah.
Because you just get this curated like stuff like that, comparing power tools and like how fast they work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm a guy who like, I'm a tech nerd, right? So I watch like videos where people are comparing like the new Galaxy phone to the iPhone, you know, and it's like power up tests and speed tests, and I'm just this like, what a waste of time, but like how amazing that this exists. You know
but
what
like
I mean?
now you know, you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't get an iPhone next time.
No, I'm always gonna get an iPhone.
I know,
I'm so team iPhone, it's insane.
It's funny because like my brother's, you know, Android or
is he?
Whatever.
Bummer. Sam?
He just does not like the iPhone.
Yeah.
But I feel like even if you don't like the iPhone, but you're an iPhone person, you have to stick with it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I will always have an iPhone, but I don't think I'm an iPhone person.
You know what is really the seller? I mean, iOS for me is just an incredible software, and everybody is just like, the argument always seems to be, well, it's just a closed system software or whatever, and it's like it's so limited, and it's just like I don't need it to do anything else. I'm completely fine with what it does.
Yeah,
you know.
This is
and
what
it
I
works
need.
really well. I like the way it looks, and now they've made it much more customizable. You know, where you can basically do whatever you want with it. I still don't because I'm fine with it, but like, and then also just iMessage. iMessage is just the best messaging service that's ever existed. As soon as they came out with iMessage,
group chats, it's like
when there's a group chat with somebody who doesn't have an iPhone,
that's
it's like, what's brutal. I don't even want this person in my life. Like, get them out of here.
Who are you? You're ruining it.
You're ruining everything.
Now everybody's texts are love at.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
Aiden liked this message. It's like, no, there's supposed to be a thumbs up, and it's supposed to have a fun animation, and I'm supposed to send fireworks, and then an emoji.
You can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just you're robbing yourself from your own experience, you know?
Yeah. That's true.
Android people.
Ugh.
The worst.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout
out to the Android.
Yeah, you know, if they're listening, shout them out. Whatever. You're wrong, and I hate you,
exactly.
but no, that's funny. I do want to go back to the Chugi thing though, because
okay.
There's a dude, and you probably know him. There's a dude I follow. I don't know if I follow him on TikTok, but he comes up all the time, and he does the millennial Gen Z thing. Like, this is his whole thing.
Yeah.
It's
a funny, like,
it's a
shtick
super
for people.
funny,
Because
yeah, and it's also
honestly, like,
extremely interesting.
Yeah.
And especially for people like us who kind of fall into the in between
it's
section.
Like,
you know?
oh dang, yeah, like just on the cusp of millennial.
Yep.
And, yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting spot to be and observe, and I think that's where that guy is. And he is he's like a guy. He's just got like a shallow beard and like a buzz cut, and he does like millennial reports all the time. He's super funny, but he was the one who I first heard of Chugi and he like explained what it is.
Yeah.
And then people took it as it was like basically shitting on women for liking things, and I didn't really see it like that. But either way, it's fucking stupid. Like, it's like, all right, well, it's just like a dumb fucking word that like I still haven't even heard anybody actually use.
Yeah.
I just keep hearing people talk about it.
I only hear it on TikTok.
Right.
And then right now.
Right. And this is what I do. This
Chugi.
is I'm glad I have somebody on who
But
is obsessed with TikTok like I am.
It's, I mean, you just get lost watching because
It's
they're
insane.
like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
3 hours later.
Yeah. I know. I'm kind of actually pissed that they upped it to 3 minutes.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
I didn't even realize.
Only for some creators.
Oh, okay.
So like some
course.
of like the people who, if you have like a certain amount of followers, you can now upload up to 3 minutes of a video.
Wow. I'm going to need to get more followers.
Right?
Can you buy them
Yeah.
like on Instagram?
No,
yet?
I don't think so. Yeah. Also, I'm waiting for the live captions feature. That's another thing that you can only get if you have a certain amount of followers. Yeah. So
Okay.
like I post videos on TikTok and I put captions in them, but I'm manually typing all of them. You know?
Oh.
Yeah. And it's a lot of work, and I just want
Yeah.
the live captions feature, but they're like, you got to be more famous. And I'm like, I'm fucking trying, you know?
I'm doing my best.
Yeah. You know, what else can we do here?
You know, I know. It's like, do you follow a popular trend, or do you just do your own voice, like,
Yeah.
just, like, completely from scratch thing, you
Right.
know, bit.
Yeah. That's probably the hardest way to go. It's hard to be completely original. You know what
I
mean?
don't
Like,
know.
you
Our
gotta-
friend Alex is pretty good at it.
Yo, good call. All right.
I mean, I was like, dang, this is funny material,
Yeah.
and it's going viral.
Yeah, Alex is
Good for
he's
you.
the funniest person
Shout out.
I know, hands down, and his TikTok spiels, his little bits that he does are fucking so goddamn funny. It's insane. Like tears
Well, how did you
down my
think
face.
about this?
Right.
I know. And I'm like, Beck,
He's-
did you see
yes.
this? And she's like, yes.
Well, Alex is just a guy who he's got it. He's got the sauce.
Yeah.
You know, he's extremely artistic. He's extremely creative. Super talented. What's so funny is like I try so hard to like write songs and be this like. I put in so much work to like be the musician guy, and like that's like my brand, right? Like that's what I'm putting myself out as on social media. And then Alex just comes in and is like, "Hey, I made this song, and like I know I don't really do this a lot, but here it is." And I'm like, "This is the best thing I've ever heard," and I've never be able to make something like this.
like-
but it's like he's just got it. He's extremely talented, and he's a great guy.
Yeah, there's a lot of people like. There's just a lot of people I know that are like that.
Yeah.
It's just like have that gift.
Yeah.
You know, and they're so humble about it. that
Yeah.
It's like I can't be mad. You know,
Right.
I have to work 3 times as hard to get
Yeah.
to what half what you can do in like I especially going to art school. I feel like that was a big thing. You know,
yeah.
at least comparing to other students, it was
you
just
took
like
the words out of my mouth. Yep.
yeah, it was just like wow, you can doodle something that I spent 3 hours on.
Right,
You know, it's
yeah.
like oh my gosh.
Yeah, it is funny, and the comparison,
fair.
just eats at you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially.
And there's no point to, I guess, comparing.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely. It's not gonna,
you know, like bringing
you
yourself
let it
down.
inspire you.
Yeah.
Let it inspire you, but don't.
Let it bring you down.
Exactly, yeah. And
Yeah.
that's a super hard thing to deal with, and I battle with that so much, you know.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of, I mean,
Same.
right. So you went to art school, so you had like same thing, like just playing in bands, like just other, like some of my close friends who are just like naturally gifted, creative, artistic people. Like I don't have that kind of like brain. I feel like I have the very like mathematical brain. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I was real good at like, you know how like they always say like you have like a math and science brain or like an English and history brain or whatever. Like I was
I
math
don't
and
know.
science.
I don't know where I fall.
You don't. You're probably
I'm probably in the middle.
Yeah.
But-
I was very like math and science was my shit.
Yeah.
Well, math really was like my shit. So I'm like,
Yeah.
that's how my brain works. Is it's very like everything has its place and needs to fall. You know what I mean? It's very
Yeah.
methodical. So like being freely creative is something I struggle with. You know, it's like
Yeah.
I need to have some sort of foundation, some sort of formula for everything to fall into. And it's like
Yeah.
when I see people who can just out of
Yeah.
nothing, just see a blank canvas and just make something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I'd be in class and there'd be a kid next to me with a little bit of clay, and it's just like he's already got a little face there.
Yeah.
You know, like
Right.
what?
Yeah. How did you? Yeah.
I gotta find some clay.
There's nothing more intimidating to me than an empty canvas, like metaphorically. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
same thing. Like sitting down with a guitar, it's just like,
Oh.
whoa, Jesus, I can do anything here. You know?
Yeah.
And that happens a lot, and it's like hard to get lost in it. And you almost have to rely on the people you look up to, you know, to kind of
That's
like
true.
not rip
Yeah.
it off, but just like, well, what would they do? And it's like,
Yeah.
and now how can I? You know? And that's how you figure out who you are as an artist.
Yeah,
I think. But,
I went to a workshop once, but it was at Reynolds Advanced Materials in Orlando, and the artist Tom Keebler, he said, this will stick with me forever, I think. Just like he explained how sometimes artists can be selfish with their knowledge, and so they're like, the more knowledge I have, then the less you have and the better I can be. So
Sure.
it's kind of like, I'm just gonna,
yeah.
but that's something that we have to like break out of. Like, it's not about how much you know, it's about how you use it.
Yeah.
So it's like, let's tell everybody, you know, let's share our knowledge, because it's not, you know, like,
I have an extremely interesting theory around that.
okay.
So
yeah.
I thought about this recently with it. Now, politically, right, I've been moving very far to the left, right? I'm big into
Yeah.
into socialism, right?
Yeah.
That's my thing, really. If you listen to last week's episode where Al and I talked about leftism and communism and all that kind of stuff, and I lost you, I apologize. Actually, no, I don't. That's just who I am. And that's just, you know, it's something that I don't think is an attainable goal within my lifetime, but it's something that it's like, I think that's how people should live. And I randomly came up with this, not randomly, I was very high, and I came up with this theory of like being a songwriter or any sort of like creative like person within like the world of capitalism, right? It just like makes you like, that's how you get the selfish artist, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
you immediately are brought into it like it's a competition.
Yeah.
Because it's how can you capitalize on it? And I don't want anybody else to have that, because I don't want them to capitalize on it. I need to capitalize on this, you know?
And yeah, it's all kind of then that psychological thing that either society has put on you,
Right.
your parents, or
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z. You know, like
Right.
it's a bunch of factors that go into that. So yeah, so I guess in a world that's more socialist, you wouldn't have
Right.
you know, that mentality.
It inspires way more of a creative.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, we can collaborate because we're not worried about how much money it's
competing.
gonna.
Yeah.
We're doing this just for the sake of creating art, which is what being a creative is.
Do you think
or
that's
should be.
why, like when we're like, oh, these people that are just naturally gifted, you think we would have that kind of thought if we lived in a more like, we're not competing world?
Yeah,
You know?
probably, because I feel like there's, because it's everything, all the systems that exist that we live in are rooted in our upbringing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's rooted in our education. It's that, and that I think is what, like, you know, to use the word tainted again, kind of get it's an uncomfortable word, but it's a good one to use.
I
Right?
know.
So it kind of taints us, and we're children, and you know, it kind of, just like, I don't know, it feels like it kind of like robs us of
Yeah.
that creativity spark that exists
Yeah.
with probably within most people, that just kind of, you know,
Oh, I'm no good at this.
Right.
Well, really? Are you not? Or
yeah,
like,
you're not allowed to really explore it if you're not
Yeah.
that good at it, you know, or
Yeah.
whatever. But
I've
just,
been seeing sorry to interrupt.
no,
but,
do it. That's what it's for.
But I've been seeing posts like that too. It's like, just because you're not good at it doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. You know, like, why do you have to so like I guess going back to Fredonia time, I picked up like playing the bass and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
wasn't good, you know, but it was just,
I thought you were good.
I have thanks. Just to like have fun, you
Yeah.
know, like, so why, you know, people that are like, why do you have to be good at something? You don't,
Right.
you know, and
Yeah,
why
you can
can't
just
that be
do it
more
for the
of
sake
a,
of doing it.
yeah,
Yeah.
like more of a standard, just like,
1,000%.
you don't have to be good at it. Just
yeah.
have fun.
Just do it.
Yeah.
1,000%. And, yeah, hold on. There was a point I wanted to make and I don't remember.
Sorry,
what it was.
I totally derailed.
It's okay. No, it's good. You made a very good point. Societal conditioning.
Yep.
Here's what it was. And I've talked about this on here before too. Is if you were told you were a gifted kid, have you seen this side of TikTok? Or just in general hear people talk about this?
No, not really.
So
surprising.
Were you like in like any sort of gifted kid programs or like in like advanced classes or
kind of later, but I was actually in the early stages. They took me out to get special help.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I've also experienced both.
Okay.
So like early on, I was like told I was gifted, right? And like they put me in like advanced classes and shit. But like I wasn't trying. You know what I mean? Like I was just like I was really good at like math, right? So they're like, okay, you're gonna go to advanced class. And I'm like, okay. So now I'm getting recognized for an achievement that I didn't put any effort into. Mm-hmm. So now there's like this conditioning in my head that it's like, okay, I'm gonna be natural. I'm being told I'm naturally gifted at a young age, so I'm gonna believe that. So I think anything that I'm gonna try, I'm gonna be naturally good at it. If I'm not, I'm a failure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the special help thing. Middle school rolls around, I get bullied super hard. I get really bad anxiety and I stop going to school, and then my grades start plummeting. And then so after like this is like a year.
Middle school dark time.
Fuck middle school, dog.
Fucking middle school.
Oh, the worst. So like I literally went from like the advanced gifted kid, and now early high school I'm in, what do they call it, AIS or some shit.
Yeah.
That was like I had to go to like special help.
Yeah.
Like I didn't get a study hall. I had to go meet with somebody who had to like give me lessons on.
Here, come take your test in this quiet room, and we'll give you candy.
Yep.
I was like, not gonna argue because I like the candy, but
yeah, interesting. I actually never even put into perspective that I have lived both of that, which is really interesting.
Yeah,
weird. But yeah, the whole thing behind like just like traditional education in our system, I feel like it kind of just fucks with people. And
I mean, honestly, like you can say that the reverse. Like I was the reverse of that, and I worked so hard to be like the naturally gifted kids, you know, that were in honor society. So I worked so hard to try to get there, and then I ended up in like honors chemistry, which
sick.
I needed a tutor outside because I was like, I'm failing honors chem.
I didn't even take chemistry.
Yeah, it was tricky.
I heard it was hard, and I was like, I'm good at that. You know what? And I took physics instead.
Oh, I heard that was really hard.
Physics is hard, but physics is math based.
Oh, okay, that's
and
fair.
I was good at math, so I was like, I'm gonna play to my strengths here.
Yeah.
I only have to take 3 sciences, so fuck chem. I'm taking physics.
Yeah,
and I did okay at physics. I had like an 83 or something. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't
that
anything.
was good.
But yeah, I made it. You know?
Yeah. See, and then in college, I was like, how can I avoid science?
Mm-hmm.
So then I took
My
Thirsty Planet.
The lowest.
I was like, what even is this?
Yeah, Thirsty Planet. Was it just like a climate change class?
Kind of, yeah.
Was it basically the equivalent of like math and action for the science credit?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I'm really good at this. Wait a minute, is this even science?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it worked. It counted. So
I took intro to bio, and it was my sophomore year at Fredonia, and I lived in an apartment and like, you know, just smoked a lot of weed and didn't care about school that much, especially like my gen ed classes, you know. My first semester sophomore year was all gen ed classes, and like I just didn't care.
Yeah, freshman year was tough.
And it was a lecture hall that they didn't take attendance, so I rarely went to class.
Yeah.
And the professor was so boring, so like when I did go to class, I fell asleep. You know, and so it was, and it's biology, which I think is the most boring subject of all time.
And they dim the lights, and you're just like,
it was
you're setting me up to fail.
It was in a McEwen first floor too. Those like, you're setting up for nap time.
That's where we had like art history.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I had art history in like the smaller rooms that I did better. See, again, going back to those early ages where they took me out of the large room to like study in the small.
Yeah.
And now I think it's affected me because then, you know, like I did well in the smaller classrooms.
Yeah. Same. I
you
love
know?
the smaller classrooms. That's why I like Fredonia in general, because
Yeah.
it was like a smaller, like
Yeah.
the idea of UB scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, too many lecture halls.
Yeah, and just too many people, and I'm just
too many people.
Yeah. Fredonia, I was like, all right, there's like 6,000 people here or something. Like, I can handle this. My class is like, the largest class I think I was in was like 100 people.
Yeah.
For like a lecture hall. But then when you get into like your major classes, it's like
That's like 6.
12 to 15.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's just like, all the same people working collaboratively together. You have like on a first name basis with your professors, it's like that. I'm going to learn. I feel like most people are probably going to learn way better that way anyway, when you have.
And yeah, back to, those classes later, junior and senior year, when it's more like specified. I remember having like radio classes or audio classes, because I was into that too.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be in the little studio rooms or whatever. It was like 6 people.
Yep.
I was like, this is awesome,
Yeah.
and you really felt like you were like you're working with the equipment and learning, and
I took
it's a better environment.
I don't remember what it was called.
I had Carl Lamb for one.
I never had Carl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
was
heard
like,
he was cool.
Carl,
though. Yeah.
when I was a freshman, we were just hanging out in the radio station.
Yeah.
Now you're my teacher.
Yeah, I never had him.
This is crazy.
I had Laura for most of my stuff. And she was
Laura.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out Laura.
Yeah.
But I had
What
her.
a peach.
Dude, for real. Like the most, like her, she's got that southern accent. She's just a sweet lady.
Yeah.
Oh, man. She's the best. Shout out Laura, for real. I think she retired.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think she retired after my senior year.
Did she move? I think she moved to
Down south?
Mm-hmm.
That would make sense. I think that's where her like kids were or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh.
Shout out Laura, the best. I don't remember what the name of the class was, but like it was like audio or soundscapes or something like that. I don't know. It was a super cool class, and it was like her whole focus on it was podcasting, and like talking about how like big of an industry it was, and like nobody really cared. Like,
honestly, I feel like podcasts haven't become popular until like
within the last few years.
Well, yeah,
but they've been around for like 20 years.
Yeah.
I talked about that recently too, about how it was a very like underground thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so this class was really all about like podcasting and like the audio like production of that and stuff. So for anybody that's like, why the fuck is Aiden starting a podcast? This has been a long time coming. Like, I went to school for this shit. Like, this is like I
took a class.
Yeah, I literally took a class on podcasting. So, you should not be surprised.
I wish I would have taken the podcast.
It was so cool. Yeah, I think it was called Audio Soundscapes or something like that. Another thing, it might have been that same class. It might not be, but there was one class with her that we had to take in like an animated short film.
I took that one.
What was that called? Sound and design or something?
I can't.
That class was super cool.
Yeah.
The funnest project I've ever worked on. You took the animated short film and you took the audio out of it, and you
created yours.
Yeah, and you put your own audio in it.
I like that because I was also taking video classes for
cool.
art.
I wish I would have taken video classes.
It was cool. It was cool to get both sides. I got like the communications video kind of, and then also the art video side. I kind of felt both. But it was cool because I could really then focus on audio and sound without worrying about editing a video.
Yeah.
And I think that helped me to get better than creating my videos and putting sound to them.
Totally.
To those, because I think breaking it down like that,
yeah,
made it
easier. I think a lot of people don't understand the importance of audio.
Yeah.
And
you kind of, especially if you do focus a lot on the film, it's kind of like, that's your last thought, sound, but it shouldn't, because everything. Yeah,
there's a reason that the Oscars has like
the
a bunch
bottle
of
getting
awards
placed on the table, the mic
Do you remember watching like Disney Channel? Remember on Disney Channel when like a Pixar movie would be coming out and they would show like behind the scenes stuff like as commercials on Disney Channel,
like the Ratatouille.
Yeah, well, I remember specifically one with The Incredibles where they show the Foley artists that like.
No, I didn't see that.
They had it was like.
I don't think.
This is a weird memory in my brain of Disney Channel, because Disney Channel had these like personalities. They weren't like in shows, but they just were like, I'm on Disney Channel. And they're just like, I'm in the commercial of, we're behind the scenes at this studio for this movie, and it was a dude who was doing The Incredibles, and he did like a voiceover part, and they like animated him, and then he got to do the Foley part. So they're in the room like doing the footsteps and like putting stuff together to make these different kinds of noises. And I remember seeing that as a kid and being like, that is so cool.
Yeah.
Like that's how, and then the idea of Foley artists, like I thought was so cool.
I loved Carl's class then, because his was that Foley class.
Oh, cool.
So we learned about like in Star Wars the lightsaber sounds. It's like a slinky that is like, whatever, and then they hit it.
Yeah.
And it makes like the pew.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's so cool, and that's how they created that sound.
Right.
Yeah,
like, I love that. I love that. And I'm a big, I'm a huge like movie nerd, right? Like I love movies. I love everything that goes into making a movie. But like I love the use of sound. Like, did you see A Quiet Place?
No, but it was filmed in Buffalo. So.
The second one was filmed in Buffalo.
The second one,
which is not out yet, but
no,
but yes,
but yeah,
you're correct. Specifically in Akron, New York, I believe. But yeah, so the first one, it is like the way they use sound in that movie is phenomenal. So the idea of the movie is that the monsters that exist, just have like this crazy hearing, right? So like they all, and then John Krasinski's character. Their daughter.
Oh, wait. I might have seen it.
The daughter's deaf?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's those weird bird things. No.
I don't know what they are.
Just kidding. What? Maybe not.
They're like, they only show the monsters that, no, they're these big, like, lanky motherfuckers.
Okay, never mind.
They kind of look like Predator, kind of.
Never mind.
Yeah, so, are you thinking of Bird Box? Is that Bird Box?
No, I'm thinking of the one where it looks like a tiny like pterodactyl or something, and their eyes are gone, so they just rely on sound. And this family's like, they have their car, and it's like, I think they're trying to get away from.
That sounds like this, but
I forget whether maybe the car breaks down or something. But I'm pretty sure the one girl's deaf, and that's how or maybe she's not, and. They started as. No,
this sounds a lot like A Quiet Place, but it's essentially there's a few differences. But the daughter's deaf, and they are like, at the movie opens with like, so spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, but the movie literally opens with like the youngest kid getting taken by one of these monsters.
Okay, I don't.
And it's so sad, and that's how they open the movie.
Yeah,
just rips
I hate when they do that.
Oh, rips
that's
your heart
like
out.
It too.
I saw that movie
when the little boy.
Yeah, same thing,
like,
same
no.
exact thing. Yep. And with A Quiet Place, I remember I went to see that with my friend Aaron, and we were watching it, and I was like, "Wow, this little kid looks like my nephew." And I was like, "If they fuck him up, I'm gonna be really upset." And I literally made the point to say that, and then like 2 minutes into the movie, he just gets wrecked, and my jaw just drops, and I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
I'm gonna have nightmares.
Yeah,
today.
right. Yeah. So yeah, but anyway, just the way they use sound in that movie, because the whole premise of the movie is that you have to be quiet, right? So they all use sign language to speak with each other, and the daughter's deaf, right? And a lot of there's a few points in the movie where you hear from the daughter's perspective. Right, because she's completely deaf, so like they cut out all the sound. It's just like white noise. And I don't know. I just love that kind of shit. There's also a movie, Sound of Metal, which actually won the Oscar this year for sound design. That's about this drummer in a metal band that loses his hearing, and so like they do the same thing where like you're hearing from like his perspective, and everything's muffled and stuff, and just like I don't know, the way they like manipulate sound and stuff like that, I just think is so cool, and I'm always going to appreciate that kind of stuff.
And you can, well, at least now hearing like shows and stuff with sound, you can hear when it's bad too. Yeah. Like when they overuse like claps and things like that. I'm like, oh,
dude, how about sitcoms still using fake studio audiences?
I can't stand that.
It's insane. I can't believe people are still doing it.
Now that's
I can't believe
what's
it's
the
so
millennial
marketable.
word?
Chuggy?
Chuggy.
Is the Gen Z word? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's chuggy.
Is chuggy just cringy? Is it the same thing?
I think so. I'm gonna just use it.
Or it's just basic. I think it's just the same word as
basic.
Yeah.
Well, then the audience clapping, I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I mean it is. You're correct.
It's just like when it's overused and like the laughing, it's like, was that even funny?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like it allows them to just make up for the fact that their show is not that funny.
Yeah.
But like I still like I love like old sitcoms where it's like it was actually filmed in front of an audience.
Yeah,
You know what I
no.
mean? And like and you could tell it's authentic and like I appreciate that, but like where it's at now, it's like this is terrible.
Yeah.
Like just get it out of here.
And speaking of back to real, I don't know. They're making Legend of the Hidden Temple.
Yes,
again.
I heard about that. Yeah.
And I wonder if they're gonna have a real audience or.
I feel so that I would consider a game show, and I feel like a
Okay.
game show you have to.
That's true.
Like it just doesn't make sense. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I'm not gonna watch Jeopardy and just watch it be quiet. You know, it'd be weird. Or Wheel of Fortune or
This is
Price is
quiet
Right.
Jeopardy.
Like Price is Right relies on the crowd. You know,
That's
like,
true.
I'm a big game show guy.
Yes, because who if the contestant's like, what do you think? You know.
Yeah.
Dead silent.
Yeah. Or like remember Deal or No Deal. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But yeah, for the what do you think? It's like,
Yeah.
should I take it? And everybody's like, no.
Yeah, it's like it's like Dora when she's
Yeah.
Which
Where
way?
is it?
And then just like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I only say that because I did see a TikTok of somebody watching.
Yeah. And they're
They're
just
like-
screaming at the TV.
Yeah. Or there's like another one. It's dead silent, so it's just like Dora silent.
Yeah.
There's that.
Yeah. It's just awkward.
Yeah.
That's funny. Did you see they're bringing iCarly back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I saw that they added it on Netflix again or something.
Oh, they did?
And I was
Oh,
like,
cool.
huh. And then,
Yeah,
like-
so I didn't read too much into it, but I saw something yesterday, and it was like them going through the new studio and where they're
Interesting.
filming, where they basically rebuilt Spencer's apartment, but
Okay.
they like made it more modern, you
Yeah.
know, but still have a lot of the same stuff. And it was him and Miranda Cosgrove just like going through the apartment. It was a fun little thing.
Yeah.
And then but apparently they're like rebooting it, but making it for like young adults,
that's cool.
which I think it's going to be
Yeah.
on Paramount Plus, and it's going to be like an actual. So I think I don't know.
I know
think it'll
because
be
some
cool.
of them, what was it like? That's So Raven, but when they made it a new Disney show or something, it was just like not.
I didn't know they did that. I know.
Yeah, where
So
she had her son, or it was like,
really?
yeah,
Oh, interesting.
maybe.
I mean, they did it with Girl Meets World.
Yeah,
Like Boy Meets
that's-
World, they did it to Girl
yeah,
Meets
and
World.
I'm like, oh darn.
Yeah, it wasn't. So Boy Meets World's like my favorite.
Fuller House.
Fuller
was
House,
like,
yeah.
ah.
Dude, Fuller House went for almost as many seasons as the original show,
Yeah, that's
which is crazy.
yeah.
Like, that's so like I watched a few episodes for the nostalgia factor, and I was like,
Yeah.
not for me, you know.
Yeah.
And then
I was
same
like,
thing with
okay,
Girl Meets
I'm
World.
gonna laugh because like that kind of humor, it is kind of funny to me.
Right.
But yeah, no,
Yeah, not for me.
wasn't as good. Yeah. So, but I did when right before the pandemic kind of happened last year. My old roommates from Florida, we all, well, and a couple of our other friends, we all went to California, and 3 of us went to Warner Brothers Studios.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and we did like the backlot tour and stuff, and that was really cool. They had the Fuller House set thing. We didn't get to go in it, but we saw like the sign for it and
Oh,
stuff.
sweet.
And we did get to walk through. I think it's like All American, that show. It's like on, I think, what used to be ABC Family. Freeform. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm still like.
I don't watch cable at all.
Yeah,
I have no idea
I
what's
don't
going
pay
on.
for. I haven't paid for cable.
Yeah,
in-
my parents have
so.
cable, you know. I just still don't watch it. I'm just
it's
Netflix, Hulu.
yeah.
That's where I hang out. you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, no, it's so I forget the new show names.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
That's cool. Warner Brothers Studio had to
Yeah.
be cool.
Yeah, no, that was a cool tour. And honestly, there was a point when we passed by like their scenic shop, and I was like, here's my business
Yeah,
card.
right,
You
yeah.
know, like I'll throw a few in there,
Yeah.
but nah, I didn't. I didn't throw a few in.
Oh,
I should've.
bummer. Yeah.
I know they'd probably pick it up. Who threw
Yeah.
their business card here?
Right.
Like,
Yeah, you never know, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah,
would have
you
been
know.
cool.
yeah.
That's cool. That's cool that you have gotten to travel and like live in other places and do things.
Yeah.
Still be able to do like your creative process and those kinds of things in different areas
Yeah.
and stuff. That's got to be really good for
Yeah, no.
advancing your skill. you
Yeah,
know, or your
yeah.
craft.
It's been cool to say like I've got work in different states and even in like Hong Kong, and, you know,
Whoa,
across the world.
for real?
Yeah, I got I made pieces for the Frozen ride. That's over there. So
Wow.
yeah,
What
so,
a
you know,
what a cool achievement.
yeah. So like I it's cool to like say that, you
Yeah,
know,
absolutely.
put on my resume.
Yeah.
But it would have been cool. Like, I think maybe eventually I'd like to maybe head out west and live, like, on the West Coast for a minute, you know?
I love the West Coast, man.
It's so pretty, the vibe, you know?
LA is like a mess right now, but and most of California, I think, is kind of a mess right now.
I like the idea of like snowboarding and surfing, and then
go to go to Lake Tahoe. Yeah, I was just talking to my friend yesterday who we have a friend who lives in Sacramento. And he said it's like the most ideal situation because you can like drive an hour in any direction, like have a different, you know, like you can go to the beach and hang out at the beach, and then
like,
then drive a couple hours north and go to Lake Tahoe and go snowboarding.
Yeah.
You know, do you snowboard? Yeah,
yeah,
that's cool. I want to get into winter sports, so I need something to do in the winter because I just lose my mind.
I got back into it because living in Florida, you know,
sure,
I didn't for 5 years, but so it took like a couple weeks to, you know, get it, and then I'm like, oh, I've missed this. So I go back and forth between if I should snowboard or ski because I skateboard, you know, I think you'd be good at snowboarding.
I think I'd be all right, you know, and I'm not trying to be like we were saying before, like I'm not trying to be super good. I'm just trying to go down a hill and have a good time. I'm literally just trying to get out of my house because I need to do something in the winter, but it's I find it hard to like, because I'm not going to just go do it by myself because I don't know what I'm doing, but I find it hard to like get on board with people who already do it because it's like they already do it. Like it's already like you already have it figured out. So it's like I don't even know where to begin and I don't know how to.
Come join my cousin Kathy and her friends from Fisher Price. They're pretty cool.
All right, shout out Kathy.
Shout out Kathy and the crew.
Yeah. That's your snowboarding gang.
Yeah. They're very good. Billy's like, he's in his 60s and he's snowboarding
for real,
and he's very good.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's super cool.
Yeah, I want to be like Billy.
Yeah, yo, 100%. I love that. Like, I'm trying to. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, fuck it.
And then
being in your 60s, I'm gonna go snowboarding. I'm gonna live my goddamn life.
Yeah. And then there are people like on the terrain park that are doing like tricks and stuff. And so like I tried to do that like probably 5 weeks into our like snowboarding or whatever this season. I was like, I think I'm good. I think I'm ready to do a jump.
Sure.
Nope. Landed on my like back head. I was out the next week with a concussion. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to just try to get down a hill now and just enjoy that.
Yeah.
Because
smart move.
I think my X game dreams are definitely over.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. So
that's another thing. So that's funny that you said that. Kind of the going back to just doing something for the sake of doing it and not being good at it. Like the having dreams, having aspirations to get to the highest point you could possibly get to. You know what I mean? Of like, I'm going to start snowboarding and try to get to the X Games. You know what I mean? It's like,
you know that, like, thinking about it, if I could go back in time, maybe I could be like a gymnastics, and go to the Olympics for that.
Sure.
Like, that'd be sweet. But that ship has sailed, I feel like, you know?
Yeah, but it's like, so that's going to deter you from just doing gymnastics, even though it's just something that you like.
Yeah, I think so.
And like, why not just do it to, like, why do it for the sake of being an Olympic athlete?
I think it's more so with that. It's like the risk now at this point. Yeah,
good
you
call,
know,
good call.
like, you know, like, I don't know, because to do my job and my living, I need my arms. So like I can't break my arm, you know.
Right.
Although snowboarding, that's pretty risky.
But I mean,
it's just staying on the board, no jumps.
If you're just going down a hill, man, I'm sure you're fine. Yeah.
But I think it comes to that then, like, how is this going to impact my other thing, like my job, my hobbies?
Right. Oh man, it's crazy.
Yeah. It kind of sucks though, because like I wanted to do like pick up hockey games and stuff like over the winter, and it was like, can I?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I feel like hockey's all right. You know? I feel like people aren't getting too fucked up playing just like pick up games.
Yeah, but
I mean, you could, don't get me wrong, but
if you get really into it, you know.
Yeah, but you can't live in a bubble, you know.
That's
you can't
true.
just try to protect yourself from everything.
That's true. Then you're not gonna.
You gotta put yourself out there a little bit, you know.
That's true.
There's fun things about taking risks. It's really rewarding.
Risk and reward,
1,000%.
right? That's the thing.
Yeah.
Balance.
1,000%. Yeah. Yeah. So it's just with the risk is worth the reward. Yeah.
Yeah, but I definitely don't think it should stop. like age shouldn't be the
1,000%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a conversation I have a lot too, because I am now playing in the band Super American, and my buddy Pat, who's in the Superman, Pat's hard to put you on the spot here, but he's about to turn 31. And like, so he's like, you know, and we're going on tour in November, and he's like,
oh, that's exciting.
It is exciting, but he's like, I feel like we need to make this happen soon, because it's like, I don't know how much I got left. And I'm just like, bro, you're 30, like, you're so young still. Like, who cares? Like, it doesn't matter.
I think it's that standard going back to what we said, like,
yeah.
oh, if you're not 16 and the naturally gifted.
Exactly. And that's what it does, like the bands that we look up to as well, you know what I mean? Like, like Blink-182 was blowing up when they were like 19, 20 years old, you know, and it's like, you know, a lot of the bands were like that. The bands that made it super far, like, made it when they were super young. And it's like, but at the same time, with the perspective that I have, I'm so grateful that I didn't make it at that age, because I would have been mentally just shot.
And all the things that you wouldn't have been able to do.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I think about that too, because I'm like, you know, whatever. Like, thinking about it, like, what if something would have taken off, you know,
right? Yeah,
3 years ago.
Yeah,
I would have missed out on the past 3 years of like the fun I've had.
Very good perspective to have. Yeah, I have put a lot of in the last few years. I've learned to just put my faith in the universe, and that it's working in my favor, and that whatever's supposed to happen is going to happen.
Yeah, and I'm a strong believer in that. There's people that argue, you know, some things aren't like. What's it? Because I say things happen for a reason. People are like, well, not everything has a reason. But I'm like,
yeah, I feel like there's lessons in everything, though.
Yeah,
big
and like
or
the
small,
universe
you know?
has like plans. You know,
100%, dude. And that's the whole thing. Like, and I used to be a person that I was like, just like, no, everything's just coincidence. You make your own destiny, whatever. It's all on you. And I think that's a very boring way to live, to just being nihilistic about everything. I think it's way more fun to believe that there's a plan here.
Yeah.
And if there's not, whatever, but it's fun to believe in it.
And I think that goes maybe on the whole socialism tangent a little bit. Just because like I've had the argument with like some of my more religious like family and stuff, you know, they're just like, why don't you do like this, and this? And it's like, well, I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
And like, that's not wrong.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, it's just not my lifestyle. It's not the way I want to go about things.
And I think that everybody has a thought on like spirituality and religion and this and that. It's like, nobody's wrong.
Yeah.
You know? It's just kind of like,
yeah,
what makes you happy with
1,000%.
this life that you're living.
This
you know?
And this is a conversation I've had on the podcast before, and I've brought up this quote by my friend Joey Harcum, shout out Joey, that I guess you got to do whatever it takes to get you through the day. Is what it is. It's just like, and that's like what I live by. It's just like, I'm not going to shit on somebody for being religious as long as they are not being using it to justify being a shitty person. You know, it's like, do whatever you got to do, man. Like, whatever gets you through the day, whatever you want to believe in, 100% believe in it. You know? And it's like, but don't tell me what I should believe in.
That's 100%.
And and don't try to tell me that something is wrong because your book says it's wrong, you know, or anything like that. Or also Jesus was a socialist, so
and
that dude gave free fish to everybody,
and he was a Jew. So so
shout out Jesus.
Shout out Jesus. shout out Jews.
Shout out Jews for sure.
So I'm actually working on this like St. Jude statue for.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, like I'm refurbishing it, but it's for my cousin's grandma who's very Catholic. And stuff, but it's somewhat funny. I'm not actually poking, but you know, this is just But she gave like a religious piece, I guess, to one of her grandkids, and he was like, I can't put this in my house, like my roommate's Jewish and it's kind of offensive or whatever. I don't know what it was, but I don't think he wanted it in his house, and that's why he was like,
he just was using, But
then she like just like, how could something like just could not believe. Then I think she's like against Jews now, and I'm like, how you're Catholic? And I was like, how Jesus was a Jew, what?
Right.
And you're so but I was like, whatever.
There is like a common joke amongst that I've just heard before of just like, that Christians blame the Jews for killing Jesus or whatever, but I don't think that's a real thing. But
Yeah.
it's
Some of this whole like I just don't understand. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm like,
yeah,
live your life.
yeah,
Let it not affect or affect someone else's life.
Yeah.
Like if it's you don't agree with it, like what you just
yeah,
said.
1000%.
It's
And
just-
and I mean that's with anything. Yeah, and I'm kind of just I'm learning that more and more recently, and I'm trying to. I think I got to get off social media again, because I always am putting my opinions out there, and that's how I've always been. So like I don't understand why people are surprised by some of the takes that I have. I'm like, dude, I've always done this. Like,
Yeah.
there is the easiest way ever to get this out of your view is just unfollow me if you're not cool with it. Like, I literally don't give a shit. But it's just taxing to like try to, I don't know, do anything. I feel like in like the public eye without somebody like because their views.
Everybody has an opinion.
Yeah. So I'm trying to
But-
back off and just like listen. I know where I'm at. I know how I view things. I like how I view things, and my friends view them the same way. And like, so I'm gonna fuck with them, and like I'm gonna start backing off of social media, I think. But I'm not getting off TikTok because I love TikTok and it's hilarious and educational, and I get a lot out of it.
It's hard when you're trying to be almost like a public figure of some sort.
This is where I'm at right
but
now.
also it's like I have my opinion.
Yeah.
You don't want to like steer people away for an opinion that you have, but
Right.
you also like need your opinion. Like
Yeah.
that's
Sometimes
why it was
I
like
feel like it's gotta be heard.
yeah, like I am having a blast like refurbishing this religious piece, and I'm like, but
Yeah. I don't really fuck with this
yeah,
whole
this
thing.
is it's kind of like like you kind of have to just not say anything, but also
Yeah.
you can't not say
Right. There is a balance in everything that you have to
balance.
find. Yes.
Yeah.
There's a balance in everything that you have to find.
And I think that was tough too with the election. Like I saw a lot of like artists and public figures that were like, I don't really want to bring this up,
Yeah.
but like I have to.
Exactly, yeah.
It's
And
like,
then you're always gonna get people that are like, stick to whatever it is. Like, this is not why we're into you. Like,
Yeah.
we're not here to hear you virtue signal and whatever. And it's just like, dude, it's like, yeah, it's a tough thing.
It's so it's kind of like a fine line.
Yeah, because I've had people who like, where I put an opinion out there, and it's like, people who disagree with me will say something, obviously, and then there's people who agree with me but don't agree with the way I said it or something like that, and it's just like, oh my fucking, so now I'm getting scrutinized for just how I go, and it's just like, all right, I'm just not gonna, I gotta fucking back up, and just because and that's the whole thing is like, as I'm doing this, you know what I mean, the podcast starts to gain a little bit more popularity, I become, and it's not even like, I hate even saying the fact that like I'm becoming a public figure, because I'm really not. But I'm getting this is growing in popularity, and so like I'm under like more of a public eye than I was, and so like now it's just kind of opening doors for people to just kind of come at me.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm not about this at all. Like, this is not why I did this. Like, I literally started this with the best of intentions to like spread positive messages and have good conversations and like open the eyes of people, maybe, so, but I do talk about my opinion on it when I think it's important, and especially if someone's coming on who, like last week with my friend Al, who shares a lot of the same views that I do. And so like, so we're going to open up about that. And it's like, and if you don't fuck with that, that's fine. 100% fine. Just, don't listen to that episode, I guess, turn it off if you want to. I don't care. Like, you don't have to listen to it. That's not what I'm doing.
And that's
for,
like that can be like a problem too. Like, so on TikTok, I follow a few people that, outside of TikTok, I also follow like on their Instagram and stuff. And they're like public figures, I guess, they're very popular, but they have been posting like, we're getting too many like hate comments, so I'm not going to post anymore. And it's just like, okay, like, now like the people that are interested, now it's like, that sucks.
Yeah, it's tough. But you know what? And that's why I'm glad I have this. Yeah. Like, my podcast is always going to just be my outlet to do stuff. So it's like, you know what? The people who do care, yes, the people who do want me to keep doing that, know where to find me.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not going to put it on my Instagram story for everybody to see or whatever. And like, so it's like, if you're into it, you know where to come to find it.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I'm just going to do it that way, And same thing. And I'm using my TikTok for this as well. Like, I use it to promote the podcast and everything. So, Yeah, it's just it's weird,
It's like,
man.
yeah,
Social media is
social media.
such a weird thing, and it's insane how much it impacts
It really,
my mental psyche.
Yeah.
Like in total, it's nuts. That's definitely nuts. So I definitely need to take a step back a little bit.
Yeah.
Especially now that things are starting to somewhat get better, you know, as far as the pandemic goes, like things are starting to open up again. We can and it's getting nice out. We can start doing, you know what I mean?
More
So it's
than
like, you
just
know what?
sitting out and
Exactly.
seeing
Like I
what
don't need
everybody
this.
else is
Because like
doing.
that's what happened is like I was off social media last summer because cases went down, you know, a little bit, like cases went down pretty low. We were able to hang out outside in small groups. So it's like, I don't need to be on my phone, you know, and then winter happened, cases spiked back up.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not leaving my house much. Again, people fucking snowboard and do this shit. I don't do anything. So I'm just going to sit on my phone. I'm getting back on social media because I'm bored and I just want to know what's going on and feel connected to something. And now I'm back to this point where I'm just like, I don't need this anymore. Like I am so set on not needing this because it's like, and especially for someone. But then
it's like to, you know, your music or artwork or whatever, it's kind of like,
it's necessary.
That'll suffer if you're not using your social media.
Right, exactly. So
it really is like, again, like that delicate balance of like, I want
I
to use
need
this
to promote
myself and my business, but I also don't want to ruin my mental health.
I guess I just am trying to figure out where to put things in the right boxes, you know? So it's like the podcast is like, all right, so this is where I'm going to use to do where I can be authentically myself, you know? Because like when I do that on social media and like allow myself to be vulnerable, like the way that I do here, and I'm just totally just putting that on just like a 15-second story or something, it is terrifying. And when somebody comes at you for that, it's like, that was like, you're coming at me now, like who I am as a person, and now I'm gonna fucking freak out over that, you know? So it's like, all right, so I shouldn't do that. I should just use the podcast for that, because the people who want to hear me be vulnerable are going to come here for that reason. They're not gonna shit on me for it, you know? So it's like, all right, I'm just trying to figure out where to balance everything, you know? Yeah, that's what it's all about. So I think I'm going to do the thing, just delete the apps off my phone, you know, and just upload it from my computer so that I don't have to constantly be on it, but I can just still promote my shit that I need to and call it a day.
Yeah, and at work, shout out Buffalo Brew Fab.
Yo, shout out Buffalo Brew Fab. You guys do amazing stuff.
Yeah,
what were you guys, you were working on something for a brewery, for Beltline, was it?
First line.
First line.
Yeah,
Beltline, First line.
Yeah, so that also, you know, don't really know what the stance is on there. So I was like, just like the brewery itself. I think political talk. Anyways.
Oh, I don't know.
But
they're a brewery. They shouldn't have.
Right. Anyway, but you know, but yeah, we were making railings for them right now, and I was like, this is cool.
Yeah.
We hired a social media and sales rep, and she's been kind of like showing me some tips and tricks, I guess, in the whole like social media stuff. Yeah, and it's just like you can download apps that manage, cool. So that posts things for you, and you can see ahead of time.
I should look into that. Yeah. I would 100% pay for a service to do that.
Yeah, and the app too is only like a few dollars, you know.
Yeah,
like
it's like a subscription thing.
Yeah, and it'll show you too, like what your Instagram page would look like with that post and things like that, so you can see it ahead of time. You know, if that's like the aesthetic.
I might.
But it's cool to plan out like what you're gonna post, because then it does it for you all week, and you can just
cool.
Yeah, so like I'm kind of tempted to like get into that, you know, just so that I'm on the social media for, you know, the business once a week, you know, and then it does it the rest of the week for me.
Yeah.
And then my personal stuff is just then chill. You know?
Right. I know. I feel like I need to make like a separate account that's like a private account that's just like me for like
separate from
that it can where I can be myself and not have to worry about shitty people coming out of the woodwork or whatever.
But it's just tough to like keep your business and your personal life like.
Yeah, it is tough, and I have one account that I use for everything, you know. So it's like, and I think that's what, for some reason, people have to have some sort of issue with that. It's like, what is your angle? Like, it's like you're posting, you're going on rants, and like, but you're playing in a band, and then you're just like hanging out at your home. Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. I'm doing a bunch of shit. I don't know. Yeah, I'm figuring it out, man. Yeah, I don't know, but it's
get off my back.
Yeah, it is crazy.
I feel like I'm like that too, though. I have different hobbies and interests, and
Right.
it's
So it's
just
like, am I supposed to make a different account for what I'm into?
I mean, I do, but
yeah, I've tried
then you have
before.
like 7 accounts.
I
it's
did
like,
have
okay.
one, yeah, right, and then it was then it's just like, so I remember I made one that was going to be an account that I talked about vinyl on. That was just like I just share like the records and like my setup because I'm such a vinyl nerd, and it's like, so like, yeah, I'll just do that. And then I made it, and I made like 2 posts, and I was just like, and then I forgot about it, and I was like, I don't know what I even did this. Like I could just post this on my regular account, you know. But and then I made one for my dog. Because I was bored, and I was like,
I know, and it keeps getting followers for it. I'm like, wait,
I don't even remember the password. I used it for like a summer, and then was like, I forgot. But people loved my dog, so I was like, all right, well, this will be fun, you know. Again, it was just I was just extremely bored.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what happens with my social media. It's just like I get bored. Well, not even social media. I think just like my hobbies and stuff. It's just like I want to try something new.
Yeah,
and it's like
again,
going back to like, even if I'm bad at it.
Yeah.
But then I see such like a potential with something that I start that I'm like, oh, let's make social media and business cards.
Right.
And I'm like,
I'm the same way. Yeah, of just like fully going into the brand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, I mean, look at what I did here. Like, you know, as soon as I was like, all right, I need a cool table. You know what I mean? So I hit you up for that, and then I get the nice like hydraulics arms to put it on in the nice micro. You know what I mean? Because it's like I want to go full
if
in.
I'm gonna,
you know?
if I'm gonna do this, then I want to do it professionally, and that's hard too. Like looking at social media and stuff, because you see people that do a certain thing, and you're like, oh, I have to have that.
Right. Yeah.
So that, you know, like, it's just like, okay, now I just spent $700.
Well, here we are.
An epoxy craft that I don't know what I'm doing.
That's so funny. Yeah.
You know?
No, I'm the exact same way. Yeah. And, it's tough to try to balance that all out. And, but it's just part of figuring it out, you know? It's just
and
like
finding like your niche.
Yeah, totally.
But, I mean, also, my headset cut out. But
really?
Yeah, I
it just stopped. Did it get disconnected from the thing?
Maybe. See, this is where engineering.
Yeah, there we go.
Right? I don't know. Hello? Oh, I think it's back. Okay, cool.
Weird. Got loose.
I don't know.
Way to figure it out.
But yeah, thanks.
Shout out for Fredonia Radio Systems.
Thank you, chief engineer right here. No, I forgot.
Figuring out your craft, finding your niche.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It again, don't have to be good at it. But that's me rewinding.
Oh, I like that. I usually just sit in silence. It's a good thing I got to steal that.
Yeah. And people are like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
I'm
rewinding. Calm down.
Yeah. No, I feel like, if I do a hobby or if I'm starting something new, it's like I have to have the full setup. And give it, 100%.
Yes. So when the pandemic shut down, it was like, okay, I can't perform anymore, right? Like I'm not going to be on a stage for a while, and I need to do something, right? So it's like I want to start writing songs and being able to demo them out, right? So I buy all this. I build the desk. I get the interface, and I get the nice monitors, and I go balls to the wall. Yeah. Like my brother moved out. I moved into this room. I get the microphones. It's like, okay, cool. Now I have all the gear I could need to do it, right? Mm-hmm. And then going back to the conversation of people who are just like naturally artistic, right?
Yeah.
My buddy Matt in Super American, shout out Matt, literally is like one of the best songwriters I know. And he just has a fucking MacBook. And that's it. And he is like, and just like we made like one of the best songs I've ever worked on. And it was all on his MacBook. And we literally recorded the guitar and the vocals through his MacBook microphone. And he just like somehow, and he's using the keyboard as like drums, like the MacBook keyboard.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I have like thousands of dollars worth of equipment that I spent on to like make something really good. And we're just sitting in your bedroom with the laptop and like, it's just as good.
Yeah.
So it's like, but yeah, I'm the same way that it's like, once I get going on something, it's like, ooh, it'd be really cool to try this.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend a bunch of money on it and go balls to the wall.
Because I have to.
And 100% all in on it. Yeah. I'm exactly the same way. Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it's good and bad. Bad that it's a lot of money.
Yeah, but fuck money.
Yeah. Because it comes and goes.
Yeah.
So like.
That's what I'm saying.
You can't
like,
take it with you.
right.
So.
Yeah, I'm all. One of my friends once told me, "Spend money like you have it," which might be bad advice, but
I shouldn't live by that. But
you know what? I just built up a really good credit score and use it to my
Yeah.
favor, and just take advantage of 0% interest financing on
there you
things.
go. Yeah.
You know?
Honestly, that's how I got my Surface.
That's how all of these things in my room exist.
You got that 1 year
Because
of
I got a Sweetwater credit card, baby. Shout out Sweetwater. Yeah.
Yeah. I had a credit card, my first one, that was terrible. And,
I destroyed my credit with my first credit card.
Yeah. No, I mean, my credit cards have helped me. Like, my credit's good.
Oh, eventually, my first one.
But my
I was putting tattoos
my first one
on
was
it
just,
and not paying them off.
Yeah. Yeah, my first one was just sketchy. It was like a knockoff, like Capital One.
Yeah.
It was like Credit One or something.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's great. Shout out to Credit One, but
it did what it needed to. My thing was I literally needed a credit card because I couldn't afford my textbooks.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It was literally like first semester freshman year or maybe sophomore year, and I was just like, "Yo,
I
I
got
need
it
to
for
get like
gas.
$800 in textbooks this semester because it was all gen eds,
Yeah.
and they're all super expensive textbooks." And I'm like, I don't know
I got it.
how I literally don't have any money to buy these, so I guess I have to open a credit card and then just put all my school books on that.
Yeah. I was like, I'm just gonna put gas and food on
I
this.
now so
and
I
then
still
it was like, oh, here's an electric drum set.
yeah, right, yeah,
Darn.
yeah. You know, you live and learn.
Thought I was gonna be a drummer.
You live and learn. Yeah,
that's okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm with it. Well, we can wrap this up, but Meg, thanks for coming on. This was a great conversation. I'm glad we talked about it.
Thank you for having me.
I know.
The table looks great.
The table looks absolutely
room's
fantastic. Awesome. Props to Meg on Instagram. Finding your account, I loved just like being an observer of everything that you made.
Thank you so much.
You make really, really cool shit. I've been to your house and like the little like wine what is it called?
Thank you. The cabinet
wine cabinet shelf thing.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Thank
All the
you.
shelving that you got going on, like
Thanks.
big fan. I am like very into not only like this kind of stuff but also just like interior decorating as well, and it's like you got it, man. Like
thank you.
You're an artist through and through, and I love having you here, and thank you for making me this. And
thank you for having me on, and for the water.
Dude, you can have all the water you want, man. All yours. Yeah. Awesome. All right, cool. Meg, thanks for coming on. I'll see you soon.
Thank you.